Okay, I want to do a different series of videos, or at least start a new series of videos. A while back I put together this particular video right here, Bucket List Marathoning, and my channel logo, and had a whopping 27 views. So clearly there aren't that many people that are interested in watching that kind of type stuff. But in this thing I talk about what I'm trying to do as far as being a retired guy. So when you first retire, I think the typical slogan is that those are going to be your go-go years, and then you get a little bit older and you get the slow-go years, and then you get to the no-go years. So, I'm in my go-go years right now, so what do I need to do in order to be able to do the things that I want to do with my car, my money, and my physical health? So I thought I would start doing a pile of videos, and the reason why I started doing that was as follows. Well, I started watching things like just financial channel type guy stuff, like this guy right here, Zool. I don't really watch him that much anymore, but I watch this guy. The next thing I know, holy Schmidt starts flying through my stuff. You watch enough of this stuff, and enough people throw shoes, enough people come flying through. And occasionally a woman will show up, like Aaron. I do listen to Aaron every now and then, although primarily I listen to the guys. I'm not sure what it is. I just like the take the guys have a little bit more. But you start doing this stuff, and then stuff from other people, actually individuals like you, like me, start showing up. One of those people happened to be Buzz's Retirement Garage. So occasionally I'll flip on Buzz, but Buzz does some stuff where he tells you how his finances are going. The money comes in, the money goes out, but there's not a lot more. I don't really know what Buzz likes to do with his time. You look, and he's also not a classic car guy. So there's another dude. This guy right here, his name's Dwayne. Maybe you've seen him. Well, anyway, Dwayne is almost exactly my age. I swear we've got to be no more than about 3 months apart in age. Maybe 6 months, I know, but we're easily within a year. But anyway, we also have similar amount of retirement savings. So he's honest about where he sits with his retirement savings, and maybe at some point in the future I can reveal that, but it doesn't really matter that much to me. What matters is the number of shares that you have, because the shares produce income. So it's the income that matters to me, and that's where I want to start, is with what do I do on a monthly basis with income. And just kind of a slow process, maybe a little piece here and there, and I'm going to dive into some of that stuff right now. Well, if I'm going to be doing, financial disclosures and stuff, I think a good place to start is with the money that I made last month. Now, I work occasionally as a substitute teacher, so ordinarily this report would have substitute teaching income. But last month was June, school gets out in May. I've got no income. I'm not going to have any income until potentially August. But that doesn't mean I'm not making money. So I've got a number of accounts. People might call them buckets. I just call them accounts. I've got a number of accounts that pay anything from you get your interest, you got your dividends, you got your long and short-term capital gains. There might be some other things that get chucked in here, like a return of capital. So let's just run down through this thing. This is a report from June 2025, broken down by week. How much money did I earn or bring in during each week? Good stuff, bad stuff. And you come down to the bottom, and I had, that's just a bit under $6,400 in inflows, and I netted about $5,600. That was a decent month. Typically, I don't quite get that much, but it's okay. But I want to talk about outflows. So, a couple of lessons that I want you to take away from these disclosures. One, you need to get investment accounts. You can't just stick money in the bank. You're losing money because of inflation, and you got to try and beat inflation. The other thing is once something starts to go bad, and you know that it's going bad, you have to, unfortunately, take losses. So in this particular case, I've got a stock called ARR. It's a mortgage REIT, and it's just stalled out. It's not doing very much, and I own too much of it. It's not like I have to take a loss in this one. It's that my cost is above the current price, and I own too much of it. But if I can knock my price down just a little tiny bit and the stock bounces up just a little tiny bit, I can get a whole bunch of money out of it without really losing money. Like I say, they paid me a dividend, and I'm going to take a loss that's equivalent to the dividend. And you can see that right here. They paid me that much. I'm going to take a loss of that much. And I've already done that. I did that June 27th. So that's one kind of loss that I want to take. And I'm going to do it, and it helps, and I'm going to clear that out. There's another kind of loss that I need to take as well, so let me show you. I'll show you what that one is now. Okay, this particular report is the prior report, but I've reduced it such that there's nothing but realized gains in here. So, you know, you buy stuff, your goal is to buy it low and sell it high, or sell it high and buy it low. That's called shorting. So one of these gains happens to be from a short that I changed into something else, whatever. So I don't have any short gains in here right now. Actually, I do. Look, here's a cover short right there. There's a cover short. They're not much, I don't think. But I've got not too many gains this month. Sometimes I'll have some months where I get some really good gains. I mean, that's really what you're trying to do with the stock market, is get gains, you know, capital appreciation. But I can take my capital appreciations and I can sum them up. In this particular case, what am I looking at here? Just under $380. And I've got a particular stock. It's not the other one. It's not the Armor Residential REIT. It's not that guy. It's a business development company, Prospect Capital. And these guys just, it's stalled, it's down. It just doesn't seem to ever want to crawl back up into what I would expect to be a normal price range. So I've been the same way. You know, like before I was returning capital. Now I'm just going to take these gains, just take them flat out as a loss on the other stock, but basically doing the same thing. I'm going to reduce my cost basis on a bunch of these Prospect Capital shares by the amount that I made this month. So let me go do that, and we'll change the report around. And here's what I do with my inflows from capital gains. I take a loss. In this particular case, it was Prospect Capital. It doesn't amount to very much. I don't know, it was like 5 cents a share or something like that. But slowly but surely, I'm going to bring down Prospect Capital. And geez, I don't know what the expression is, the dead cat bounce or something like that. At some point in time, Prospect's, it's going to have its day, and it's going to go up. And this goes down, this goes up, gets to the neutral price, and I can cut down the amount of money that I have in that particular stock. I just own too much of it. I don't really have a problem with it, but I own too much. It's just it's a high yielding stock, so it kind of grows. It's become too much of my portfolio. I need to cut it back a little bit. So I've driven it down. I've got one other thing that I need to do, and I need to modify this report. Hang on just a sec. So right here I've got all of the interest income that I've received inside my IRA. I only do this in my primary IRA. I've got 2 IRAs. One of them's kind of small. I don't mess with it too much. This is my primary. This is where I got the bulk of my money. And I'll take things like a high yield bond fund. That's what this guy is. And I don't reinvest that. Bring it in as cash money. I've got something else. This is a gold miner. I don't reinvest that. Just here and there, there's going to be things where I could reinvest, but I don't. And what I'm going to do with this money is buy my own shares. I'm going to sell them to myself so that they used to be like just shares that I owned with my own personal money, and I'm going to buy them back in so that they become reinvested shares. And I do this because there are certain stocks that I have where opportunities presented themselves to buy stocks at incredibly low prices with really crazy yields, and I'd much rather buy those shares in than to reinvest something like, you know, the Spider High Yield Bond Fund. This guy right here, I don't want to reinvest. If you look at the chart of that guy right now, it's up fairly high. So why reinvest high when I can buy shares that were low? So let me figure out, I'm going to figure out now what stock it is that I want to apply this to. All right, after looking over my stuff, I've decided that this is going to be the stock that I'm going to flip some shares on. Anyway, I purchased, this is Omega Healthcare, OHI. It's a REIT. And anyway, I've got some shares I purchased down here way back a long time ago. So they've got a little bit of a capital gain, but it's not a huge capital gain. You know, I mean, it's like if I'm going to sell them, I could take the capital gain, or I could sell them and then buy them back. But since I don't have a really good capital gain, why don't I just sell them and buy them back? And that's why I chose the Mega Healthcare. So let me get this done. Well, I took this amount right there and I converted 20.6 shares of Omega Healthcare from my ownership to reinvested dividends. So that's what I do at the end of the month, every month. Take my losses, you know, from whatever I choose to do, be it like take a dividend and convert it into return of capital. If I've got capital gains, convert them into capital losses, and interest, flip-flop. Real easy to do, and that's what I consider to be my side hustle. I play with the stock market. I don't think working as a substitute teacher is not a side hustle. It's like, I have a lot of respect for teachers. Teachers, they work hard. It's tough out there on them right now. Kids and their cell phones, it's just crazy. So if they need a day off and they want somebody who knows some math, I feel good about going in. I don't consider it to be a side hustle. It's I don't know. I do it to make myself feel good, to accomplish something in retirement. It's rewarding. I like it. I don't want to do it long term. Occasionally, a 3 or 4 week stint for somebody who's going on maternity leave is fine. But in addition to paying for retirement, I also need to accomplish what I want to do in retirement from just a recreational standpoint. And those of you who watch all my videos, you know what I'm talking about. It's about getting my ass in shape in order to go out and run some marathons. So let me get on, show you how I've been doing as far as that goes. Okay, for those of you who don't know what the plan is, I mean, I like to work out. I like to run. I like to hike. I like to run. I've done several high points, like Mount Elbert over in Colorado. I've hiked up Mount Elbert. And you don't necessarily hike these things unless you're in reasonably good shape. And you're certainly not going to run a decent marathon. So, yeah, marathoning. And I don't want to just finish. I've already finished plenty of marathons. The idea is to get awards like this one right here. So this was one that I picked up back when I was like 41 or 42 years old from the Hogeye Marathon, Fayetteville, Arkansas. I was male, 40 to 44, third place. So I fully expect to be able to get some age group awards, and you don't just get age group awards if you just finish. So you have to work out. Thus, I began logging my workouts. And as you can see, my time per mile of my runs has been slowly going down, even though the temperature has been going up. So I have been getting in better shape. The amount of miles that I'm running per day has been going up. Miles per run, miles per day. Total miles per month, that's not many miles, but I'm not doing many individual miles per run right now. I'm still trying to get back in shape. And, you guys might think that running 3 miles, 3.5, oh, it's pretty good. No, it sucks. I hate to say it, but yeah, that sucks. Even at my age, I'm 62, almost 63. Yeah, it sucks. So I've known way too many people at my age who could run. And anyway, I don't just run, I also walk. So here's my monthly walking statistics. You can see that the miles that I'm doing here has been going slightly down because I'm doing more miles running. Time per mile, certainly at my age I'm going to, I would think, walk a fair amount of a marathon. I don't have any intention to run the full 26.2 miles, but I wouldn't have a problem walking, I don't know, a quarter of one, 6, 7, 8 miles. I think I'd still finish in a reasonable amount of time and still become an age group award recipient of some sort. Anyway, that takes care of that. There's 2 other things I need to do. One, this past fall, I got sick, actually really rather sick, and they gave me a drug. They caused me to gain weight. It's a drug called prednisone. Some of you have probably heard of it. They talk about getting a moon face. Well, I didn't get a moon face. I got these big freaking love handles, and they just friggin' won't go away. So I need to track my weight, and I have lost some, but I need to be able to make sure that it's still going down, that I haven't stabilized. And I do need to track my heart rate and my blood pressure And at some point in time, maybe I'll buy something, but I usually just go over to my local grocery store where they have a pharmacy, and then I stick my arm into the thing, hit the button, and you know, it'll pump me up and tell me how I'm doing. So I think I'll go do that. I don't know, probably now. Check it out, it's still here. Again, I don't think I've used this thing in about 10 years. Anyway, you stick your arm in this side. And hit the start button. Ooh, okay. Alright, the pulse rate seems reasonable. Not sure about the blood pressure, I'll have to take that out. Anyway, I'm going to do it again. Let's see if I can get a repeatable result. Man, I'm shaking my arm out a little tiny bit. Alright, let's erase. And start. Alright, well, that looks pretty repeatable. You know, I'm gonna grab some groceries and go eat some lunch and finish this video. Alright, well, so after going over to the grocery store, where I got some groceries, I hit the Taco Bell, and my daughters were there, so I got to hang out and have lunch with my daughters. Well, here's what good old Google AI is telling me about my 150/80 with a heart rate of 48 for a 62-year-old guy. Basically, it's telling me I'm going to die. Guidelines lowered for the diagnosis, hypertension, blah, blah, whatever. Stage 2 hypertension, according to these guidelines. Lifestyle, potential medication. Anyway, whatever. Heart rate. While low heart rate is not always a problem, especially in well-conditioned athletes. Well, you know, hey, that's kind of what's doing this for me. Anyway, do I have it? Severe chest pain? No. Fainting or near fainting spells? No. Difficulty breathing? No. Dizziness or lightheadedness? No. Fatigue or weakness? No. Confusion or memory? No. Shortness of breath? No. Therefore, my heart rate of 48 is not a problem, but I am concerned about the blood pressure because that's actually gone up since last November when I had the doctor take it, but there's no guarantee that that machine is accurate. But yeah, that's a little bit disturbing. That's a bit on the high side. But hey, I feel pretty good. And my conditioning is coming around. So, well, so much for this particular retirement video. I've watched these videos, and oftentimes the people will say, oh, by the way, my name is such and such. But hey, well, you know what? It says it right there on the screen. So we got that covered. Anyway, I don't really know how to do these videos, how to start them or end them. It doesn't really matter. I'm just simply sharing the retirement process as it works for me. And, you know, I know that based on my demographics, a whole bunch of you guys are either very close, right at, or past retirement. So you should find the content relevant. Hopefully you'll find it interesting as well. And maybe I'll pick up a few subscribers, who knows. Anyway, I think that's good for this one, and I'll see if I can't do something else in a month.